Okay, folks, I want to thank you for coming to the Roncesvalles complex today for Doors Open. The area you just visited is known as the traffic office, and that's the area where we dispatch all of our drivers out each and every morning with their fare boxes to come out into the yard and take the streetcars into service. We'll have approximately 130 streetcars in here each night, and what we will do is clean the cars, wash the cars, and do inspections on the cars to make sure that they're safe and reliable to go back out on the street each and every day. So, on a typical night, we'll have, well, I would say 200 to 300 bags of garbage swept up by our employees and put into garbage bins or recycling bins. We started recycling approximately 4 years ago, and it was all part of our diversion program where we wanted to see how much newspaper. You'd be amazed at how much newspaper is recycled through just on streetcars alone each and every day. So what we do is we do sell our recycling to facilities, and we recover a little bit of the cost for our cleaning crews. So we're going to go through the wash right now. What I'd like you to do is look beside you and make sure your window's closed so we're not washing any of our patrons here. Do not want to be washing anyone's face. So we're going to come up and go through what we call the wash rack. And each day we wash approximately 60 streetcars between the two divisions. We have a division on the east side of the city known as Roncesvalles Car House, or the Connaught Barn, some folks may know it by. And the Connaught Barn and the Roncesvalles Barn are very, very similar in statute. And they hold approximately 120 cars, we hold approximately 130. So we're slightly larger over here. So you'll notice as we come through the car house, we have repair bays on the left-hand side. Those repair bays are used for collisions that occur out on the street. Last year alone, we had approximately 700 streetcars damaged by automobiles running into the backs of them, sides of them, fronts of them, you name it. Remember, a car can hit a streetcar, it will. So we have repair persons that do body work on the sides and restore them back and get them back out on the street so we can get the public moving again. So we're about to come through the soap arches. And the soap arches will put a coating of nice, frothy, whipped cream-looking soap on the side of the streetcar. We've only washed this particular streetcar about 30 times today. We believe it's now clean. So the streetcar will go through, and after it's scrubbed, it gets rinsed with approximately 100 liters of water. At one time, the water used to be left running on these wash racks. Back in the 70s, we would just leave them running. And it was an incredible waste of water. Back in those days, we weren't that concerned about conservation. But now we have automated switching on them, so they shut off right away after we use the rinse. You'll notice some of the cars that we have out on the street are what we call wrapped cars. And wrapped cars are vehicles that advertisers paying exorbitant amounts of money to have wrapped. And they pay for those cars to be wrapped. Those cars are wrapped so that we can do advertising for a lot of our customers. And what we will often do is wrap the car and leave it out on the street for extended periods of time. It's like a moving billboard, and it's been highly successful for our advertisers. So we wrap approximately 60 streetcars every year, and we could wrap the whole fleet, but we do not want to do that because it starts to compromise the integrity of our vehicles to have too many of them wrapped at once. So we have a limit on how many we wrap at one time. We'll have up to 15 at one time wrapped, and we will not wrap more than that. So we're going to go around the traffic office and take you over to the west side of the building where you'll have an opportunity to see the PCC streetcars, or the President's Conference cars, and the Peter Witt streetcar. The President's Conference car was the vehicle prior to this car, the CLRD, and it was the backbone of the TTC prior to the subway construction. At one time, there were over 600 streetcars of the PCC generation operating in the streets of Toronto. Since the subway had come on board, the fleet was cut way back because of the subways, which, being a streetcar guy, I still do like subways. So subways are still an integral part of our operation. The streetcars and the subways and the buses, Toronto has a very unique network of interconnection of bringing all of these vehicles together. So in the future, we're going to be looking at that LRD streetcar, which is approximately between 90 and 98 feet in length. So we're not exactly sure the length yet. It's going to be in the 90s though. This streetcar is 40 feet in length, so you can imagine the new streetcar will be 93 to 98 feet in length. So it'll be a very big car. We got a little bit of a log jam going on right here. We're also trying to run service out here today too, so we have some streetcars coming in right now.
You said you only had 2 garages, and you have roughly 250 streetcars in the 2 garages. Is that the total number of streetcars you have?
Yeah, the TTC has 248 streetcars to be exact, and some of the streetcars are dispatched from the new side, some from here. So we have a heavy repair shop up at Bathurst and Yukon. And with 80 vehicles needing major work, we'll go up to that facility known as Harvey Shop.
Okay.
And Harvey Shop has the ability to virtually rebuild a streetcar. They've got all the trades working up there.
But in all the streets in Toronto, you only have 248 streetcars?
Yeah. This is the wash pump. Nope. We're going to go around to the other side so you can see the old streetcars. So when we get over to the other side, take a few moments to go inside the car house, and you'll have an opportunity to see an articulated streetcar up on a hoist with the compartments open, and it'll give you a little bit of an idea how complex the vehicles themselves really are. You'll see all the vehicle electrics on the side. Now the new streetcars that we're going to be receiving are unique in that they are low to the ground, so we don't have stairs on most ones. We'll have ramps. And the reason for the new streetcars is they'll be much easier for people with mobility challenges to be able to get on and off them, as well as more exit areas with the doors, and they will be air conditioned.
Oh, nice. Aren't you worried about ice and stuff getting underneath, like the new one?
You're absolutely right. How would you like to work here?
Well, I think like these ones, you know, the snow and stuff gets underneath, but it's not as bad, but with the new design.
So we are actually looking at whether we're going to need some kind of a clearing device.
Like a plow or something on the front.
Because we're concerned about the windrows of the plows that are running north-south, intersecting with the east-west lane. So that is something that's being studied right now to see what the best manner of addressing that. If we had a winter like last year,
yeah,
we wouldn't have that problem.
No problem. Yeah. I like these, but yeah, for people in wheelchairs or something, the other one is just nice.
Does anybody have any questions at this point?
How much does it cost, like if somebody pays to have a streetcar wrapped, how much do they have to pay?
I've heard that the wrap on an articulated streetcar will go for as high as $50,000 to $60,000 for a 6-week period, so $10,000 a week. which is, I guess, in the advertising world, to have that streetcar on the streets of Toronto, going back and forth. They're knocking on our doors to do it, so it must be working for them.
When will the LRVs be running on Roncesvalles?
Well, I can tell you that there's supposed to be a prototype delivered by the end of this year for testing, but it'll be tested at night. The actual dispatch of LRVs out of this yard is probably going to be scheduled for late 13, early 14.
Will they be testing on Roncesvalles or elsewhere along the line?
They'll be tested on all 11 streetcar lines, but the primary area is the Queen, King, Bathurst line. That's where we want to get them out and start using them. So I'm asking folks that if you can come off the front doors just for safety reasons. Thank you.